So as I've gotten older, I think more and more about my early role models. I'm not sure when I was young I thought of them as particular role models. They were my parents, and you spend your life trying to not be your parents. But when I look back, my mother's now 84, my father's no more, he died 20 years ago. And they had a profound impact on how I thought about what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be, how I approached life. So pretty fundamental, really. They were engaged and curious about things, a whole variety of things. They were both inherently purposeful. My mother is now 84 and she's still obsessing about the next book she's going to write. She frightens me, really. And so I think that sense of drive, vigor, intellectual curiosity, purposefulness, all of those were really founding influences for me. In a way that when I was young, I probably thought that was all quite dull, but I probably imbibed it. And it has contributed to making me who I am. Look, I've been hugely fortunate because I've had sponsors throughout my career. I've had people who've taken bets on me and put me in positions that I wouldn't have myself either applied for or thought I was capable of doing, but they've believed in me and thought I could make a difference, and that's been instrumental to my career, and actually probably practically every step. There have been very few opportunities or very few stages in my career where I've thought this is the logical next thing I'm going to do. I've approached things through the lens of here's a problem or an opportunity that I want to tackle. I've then seen over time that somebody's sponsored me into turning that into a job, and a job that actually, had that job been written down on paper, I would probably not have thought I was the right person to do it. So yes, I've been incredibly fortunate and probably had 3 or 4 sponsors over the duration of my career. So I wouldn't say there's been a single pivotal moment. I think I'd say there's a whole set of coincidences and coincidences that build upon each other and then have a certain thread to them that have brought me to the job I have today. I go back, and at university I did maths, economics and statistics. Now those are standard subjects for somebody who wants to be an actuary or go into insurance. I didn't. I did them because they were the subjects that I enjoyed. I then worked for 10 years in banking, financial services. When I moved to Britain in 2002, that was a move where I joined the Prudential, not because I knew what an insurance company did, but because I knew the Prudential from its joint venture relationships in Asia. And I thought it was the sort of firm I wanted to work for. I joined in a corporate development M&A capacity, but I was drawn to general management. And that has ended up in a series of steps bringing me to the job I do now. So no single pivotal moment, but really a set of experiences that I've enjoyed along the way that have come together to give me a career that has both been fulfilling and has ended up in a place that is probably what I wanted. The most important decisions are always about the people. Whether you've got the right people, what you could be doing to motivate people, where you need to put more energy, where you need to put less energy. They're all about the combination of things that make a team work, a team in terms of your direct team, but also a team in terms of the whole organisation collectively working together towards a goal. So I think it's about understanding the combination of skills you need and the context you're hiring for. So are you looking to create energy, pace, execution? Are you looking for a degree of maturity and the ability to handle complexity and ambiguity? It is there is no single person who's right in every situation. I think you have to be really thoughtful about what's the context, what's the skill, and what's the energy, and the kind of personality that can go with the grain of the organisation, if that's what you want, or go against the grain of the organisation, if that's what's required. And so I wouldn't look for one single thing, but it would be very, very dependent on what you're trying to achieve. I think an essential for a leader, an essential of leadership, is having a teachable point of view. What do I mean by that? The essentials, the fundamental role of leadership is to lead. And leading, almost by definition, is moving the agenda forward, moving the status quo forward. It's not about role, it's not about level, it's not about hierarchy. It's about making a difference. It's about changing the way, whether it's an organization, whether it's a group of people, it's about changing things in a progressive way. What does that mean? What is the fundamental to that? It's about having a point of view, a thoughtful point of view about what's your strategy, what do you want to change and why, and then being able to influence people and being able to explain why that is the right direction of travel. I think a leader without a point of view and without a teachable point of view, that's management. That's not leadership. So I have a huge number of people that I have worked with, learned from, respect, who wish me well, whose counsel I would take and who I would observe, and who I would think of as mentors. I don't think there's a single trait that you seek. Probably if there was a single trait, I would pick generosity of spirit. But actually they're all very, very different characters. And I think for me, it's about learning. It's learning different tactics, learning different styles, learning how you would approach problems slightly differently, and the more influences you have to do that with, I think it makes you a better professional, a better leader, just a better human being, really. So a whole combination of things, really. In my job, I have the privilege to meet a whole range of people, whether they are leaders of other businesses, leaders of businesses in my sector, in our sector, or people in my business, or in SureTech startup, entrepreneurs, whole raft of people. So learning from other leaders, watching and observing how other leaders are approaching problems, what their points of view are and how they're moving the agenda forward, that's an important source of inspiration and learning. Equally, I read a lot, I go to conferences, I absorb information that helps me shape my point of view on where do I think the world is going, what do I think the opportunities are, where do I think the risks are, and therefore how do we develop our business, and what are the tactics and strategies to develop our business. And I think that's incredibly important for me as a leader, to stay current and to be thoughtful about how we as a business grow and be resilient in a time of incredible change and opportunity.